In the previous class, we have discussed that transaction is a set of logically related operations. So these are the example operations that a transaction may have. Also, I have discussed one more point, that is ACID properties. Each and every transaction will follow the ACID property so that it could ensure the consistency in the database. Now, today we have to understand the second point, that is, a transaction goes through different states through its life cycle. Now, what do you mean by transaction life cycle? That I will explain today. I want to discuss one point about this transaction life cycle. In the operating system, we have discussed about process life cycle. So it is something related to that. Now, what is the difference? I will tell you. So, first thing we have to understand, in a particular transaction, we have many operations. Among them, the most important or significant operations are read operation and write operation. Now, what do you mean by read operation? So, whenever I am writing read A, means this instruction will read the value A from the database and will store it into the buffer in the main memory. That you have to understand today. So whenever we are reading some specific value, it is read from the database. However, after reading, it is stored in the buffer in the main memory, and then come to the write operation. So whenever I am writing write A, means it will update the value of A from the buffer to the database. Writing means this kind of activity. B equal to B plus 50, then write B. So here I am updating the value of B from the buffer to the database. Now come to the life cycle part. So basically, whenever I'm talking about a transaction, say T, this transaction goes through different states. So the first state of the transaction is known as active state. A transaction is in the active state means it is basically executing all the instructions of its own operation. Now, here you have to understand one point. All the changes made by the transaction are now stored in the buffer in the main memory. So whenever we are discussing about the active state, 2 points you have to remember. First, this is the state where all the instructions will be executed for a specific transaction. And second, whatever execution is done and whatever changes is made by this transaction during its operation, all those changes will be stored in the buffer of the main memory. So this is all about active state. After active state, we have the partially committed state. Now, say this is a transaction T and it has many operation. And whenever the last instruction of the transaction has executed, then it comes to the partially committed state. Now, try to understand what is the concept here. This state is not a fully committed state. Why? From the diagram, it is understood that this state comes immediately after the active state. So whatever change they have made in the active state, the transactions are still stored in the buffer in the main memory. So here you have to remember one point. Whatever changes or whatever modifications are made by the transaction, if it is in the main memory, buffer in the main memory, at that point of time, it is known as partially committed. Now, what do you mean by committed state? Committed state means after all the changes made by the transaction, if it is successfully stored in the database, means if each and every execution is stored in the database in the hard disk, then at that point of time we can say that our transaction T is committed, means it is in committed state. After a transaction has entered the committed state, it is not possible to roll back the transaction, means I cannot perform any undo operation. Whenever your transaction is at partially committed state, then there is no question of permanent storage in the database. However, whenever we are in the committed state, means the updation is stored in the database. So at that point of time, you cannot perform any rollback operation. In other words, it is not possible to undo these changes. So this is because the system is updated into a new consistent state. Committed state means you are in a consistent state, and once your transaction is in the consistent state, it is not possible to perform any undo operation. Now, there is another important discussion about fail state. When a transaction is getting executed in the active state or in the partially committed state, some failure may occur due to which it will become impossible for us to continue the execution of the transaction. So at this point of time, due to some failure in this two state, your transaction will come directly into the fail state. So that's why we have two arrow from this state. Now we have another discussion about aborted state. Aborted state means after the transaction has failed and enter into the fail state, whatever changes is made by the transaction, it will be undone at this point of time, and then it is said to be rolled back. So after the transaction has rolled back, then it will come to the aborted state. So aborted state is the effect of failure of a transaction. So here you have to remember one point. Once your transaction got failed at active state or in the partial state, at this point of time, you have to perform rollback operation of a particular transaction. Means whatever updation you have made, they will not exist anymore. So after performing all the rollback operation, now your transaction will come to the aborted state. The last state is known as terminated state. So terminated state means after entering the committed state or the aborted state, the transaction finally enters into the terminated state. So if you see the diagram, this terminated state is achieved after either committed state or after the aborted state. So whatever may be the scenario, terminated state means the life cycle finally comes to an end. So terminated state indicates the end of the transaction life cycle.